my 3 kids.
Welcome to Gunslinger Gulch.
We've bought an entire town in the middle of nowhere. It's like something out of a movie. So the previous owner, she started collecting all these buildings from all over. With each building that she brought, something else came with it.
Within the first few days, things were already happening.
There's something here with us.
I look over and there's this man standing over the bed. I'm freaked out.
There's something wrong up there. It's haunted.
We have put everything into this town.
What is that?
Really scary.
We don't want to be afraid. We are at a point where the dots have to be connected.
What is this?
I'm scared.
You okay?
You think there's chaos? Just wait.
There you go, there's your snack.
After my husband and I separated, things were getting really difficult back in Seattle. I had a new boyfriend. We had relationship problems that kind of ended in disaster. I knew we needed to make a change, a new start, new location. And all of a sudden, I saw this ranch for sale. It's like I sat down at my computer and the ad was there on my screen. 19 buildings on 52 acres in southwest Montana.
It was kind of like a, what? What do you mean you found a ghost town? Okay, is mom falling off the rocker? What's happening?
It was a sudden bombshell. I thought she made the wrong choice.
It was a very foreign concept to me because I've rarely been outside Washington.
But we started to realize this is actually like a huge opportunity to run a ranch, to have guests come in, and it's been one of our biggest dreams. Once we finally arrived, jaws hit the ground and we're like, oh my God, like this is amazing.
Almost felt like I was called here. Like there was something that really wanted me to be here.
So after a couple weeks, my mom had her first experience.
It was the dead of winter, and we had no heat. So I was trying to stay warm by sleeping in the car. Next thing I know, I heard this tap, tap, tap. And it kind of took a minute to register. And then I heard it again. And at that point, I knew somebody was there, but there shouldn't be anybody here. I opened the car door, and I'm kind of looking around just to make sure, and I'm looking down, and there was no footprints anywhere in the snow around the car. There was no footprints anywhere. I was terrified. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what have I gotten ourselves into?
It wasn't anything violent, so we couldn't let that stop us from getting this place up and running. But then everything changed. It went from, what was that, to menacing faces in the shadows, disturbing noises, even physical contact, especially going after my mom and my sister.
You start to wonder if this thing is targeting our family. I wanted answers, so I looked for help on the internet, and that's when I found Tim Wood. I know he's a paranormal investigator. I just need someone to figure out what's going on and whether we're safe here.
My name's Tim Wood. Been researching the paranormal for about 20 years. I've investigated hundreds of cases. Karen reached out to me through an internet chat board about these strange things that were going on at her ranch. She was mentioning feeling drained. I've seen these shadow figures. She was scratched on the leg. So I felt compelled to help Karen get some answers. I can't believe they live all the way out here. It's pretty isolated. Wow, look how many buildings there are.
Oh, wow. This is incredible.
On this investigation, I'm going to be teaming up with Sapphire Sandalo, and she does a lot of research on the paranormal. She has vast knowledge of superstitions and lore.
I've been a paranormal researcher my entire life. It opens you up to see things and feel things. Now I have a podcast where I speak with thousands and thousands of people all over the world, sharing their paranormal experiences. When most people think about hauntings, they don't think about the entities that break you down physically and mentally over time. It really feels like we're in another time period.
There's a lot of history attached to these buildings.
Hi.
Karen?
Yeah.
Tim?
Tim?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Sapphire.
Sapphire, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm really glad that you guys are here.
It sounds like you guys have been experiencing a ton of activity.
Yeah, we have. This has been very exhausting. I don't know how much longer I can deal with this day in, day out.
How long have you been up here for?
It'll be 3 years in March.
Okay.
Is it more threatening than before?
It's getting stronger every day, and it's definitely trying to get attention.
You're isolated up here, so I can only imagine how frightening it must be. Even just standing out here, I feel like we're being watched.
Always, but it's something that we deal with daily.
Well, we're here to hopefully help bring you some rest.
That'd be great.
Can we meet your family?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
absolutely. Tim and Sapphire are here.
Welcome.
This is my son Colby, and Cameron, and my daughter Chloe.
It must be frightening what you've been dealing with. And as much as you guys are open to us, it's going to help us get answers for you.
We don't know which building we're going to walk in is going to be safe.
We're seeing people more often. We're feeling things more often. Starts off with a touch, and next thing you know, it could be a scratch. Things are getting weirder.
Our current state of normal really shouldn't be normal.
You know, we don't want to be afraid. We don't want to feel threatened, be walking around with that level of fear. We just want to feel safe.
But I just want to warn you, as we try to get closer to the truth, the activity, it's only going to intensify. This is a process, and this is not just going to be a one-night investigation. We're going to figure out everything that's going on. What I would like to do is talk to each one of you individually, try to put some of the pieces together and figure out where we should be investigating first. What were the circumstances of your mom buying the property?
My mom was looking for a place to escape. Something clicked in her mind that was just like, I need to do this.
There are some things that happen here that have to stop.
Like what?
I was up in the church, and I woke up because I felt like a sting or something, you know, on my leg. But then the very next night, I was sitting in my room, and I look up, and right outside my bedroom window was a man standing there. And just like that, he was gone.
Was it like a full apparition of a man?
It was
or
a full-on
shadow?
apparition of a man. Yeah.
Wow.
I was trying to go to bed, and what I heard up in the window was a voice clear as day. But there was nobody there. I froze. I didn't know how to handle it. And
You okay?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Do you feel safe here?
I do fear for my safety and for safety of my family.
There's an individual that's in our log cabin building, and he's the one who's been more disrespectful and aggressive, you know, catching me at vulnerable times, you know, using the restroom and having loud footsteps outside the door, and the doorknob turns and swings open with full force. And, you know, I'm freaked out, run in almost crying and just trying to figure out what exactly had just happened to me. You know, I really do not feel comfortable going in there, and this dark feeling it's hard to explain, but it's very unsafe. And
That's okay.
if you can even imagine what I mean by that.
I can, but that sounds really scary. Thanks for sharing that with us.
I've seen apparitions. I've heard voices come from rooms. And I was alone in the saloon when I saw what looked like a cat. All of a sudden, it leapt off and disappeared by the time it hit the floor. And then I found its body underneath the bar here.
You found a cat underneath a building?
Mm-hmm. So I went in through the closet here and down into the crawl space and crawled underneath there.
So there should be a main water valve.
Not seeing it yet. Wait. Found a mummified cat.
At that point, I think we all started talking like, oh, I thought I heard a cat, or I thought I saw a cat. And then it just kind of escalated from that.
How much do you know about the history of the town?
I know that the original owner had salvaged all these buildings from demo in the local communities throughout Anaconda and hauled them all out here to set up this town to run as a dude ranch. This building that we're in right now is our saloon, and this building was owned by John and Catherine Harrington way back in the early 1900s. I know they had a large family. I know Catherine was a midwife. You know, we have 19 buildings here at the ranch, and most of them have some sort of activity, but the saloon and brothel building, the log cabin, and the church are where we feel the most threatened.
Do you ever regret it, purchasing this property?
Some days.
Karen in her emails described that she felt like she was called to this property. I experienced something like that myself. Back in 2013, I bought this haunted house sight unseen. It was as if the property was calling out to me.
Look at me. You all right? No.
That experience has haunted me ever since.
Talking about it is almost exhausting as going through it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I know to relive some of those memories and to share them can be pretty hard, but it's going to help out a lot with our investigation. It's going to be really important for you guys to spend the night in a safe spot. By safe spot, I mean a building where there has been no activity.
So why are you wanting to isolate us?
So I found on previous investigations, when the clients start sharing their experiences, that if the energy here is intelligent, it could lash out. Basically, I want to try to document whether the property is haunted or if you're haunted.
Okay.
So what do you think?
It is so much more wild than I imagined.
I don't know how they do it.
Do you feel like the activity is more tied to the location or the family?
I'm not sure yet. I mean, there's just so much here. I mean, there's the buildings. Each one of them seems to be almost hiding something. And that just makes me extremely nervous, because I feel like it's just kind of like we're opening up Pandora's box.
Yeah.
The only building that we know anything about is the saloon. So I want to start there. Now, Karen told us the saloon used to be owned by the Harringtons, a local Irish family, back in the early 1900s. Now, saloons would be a gathering place for minors and prostitution, and that should be where some of the darkest energy is. So we're at the saloon.
All right.
Definitely a different vibe than
Than earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like over here, this is where Karen, she's seen shadow figures and heard disembodied voices.
And this was also where they found the mummified cat.
So many people have seen that spirit cat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have your EMF?
I do.
Yeah. Here, I'll film you.
Okay.
Bring her by the horseshoe. See what's the reading?
2.6, 2.5.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They went up to 4.
Right? What the freak? Big jumps in EMF can signal spirit activity. Spirits can use EMF fields to communicate, but they can also manipulate them in a way to make us feel certain emotions. Okay, let's try to do a quick EVP session. Let's just put it right on the horseshoe.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something to this area. This is Tim and Sapphire, EVP session number 1 in the saloon. We're trying to communicate to the energy that's manipulating that EMF meter over there. 2, 2.2, 7.
Oh, it's like jumping
It's
back.
totally jumping around.
Whoever's here with us, were you here earlier when we were interviewing Karen? What was that?
Hello? There was like something in your vicinity that made a noise like behind you. Is that just a hiss?
I heard that too. Like a cat hiss.
Who placed the cat in the saloon? Was the cat placed in the saloon as a form of protection for the owners of this property? Oh, and let's play this back. Let's just see.
No. Wait, can you play that back?
Yeah.
Ooh, I just got like nauseous. That was like a clear ass no.
There's a couple of super active houses in Ireland that, people report seeing this black cat, and they've been associated with really violent, dark hauntings. Now, what I find interesting about this is that the Harringtons are Irish. They owned the saloon and brothel.
Do you think that's what they're seeing here?
I don't know.
The family believes that the phantom black cat is the spirit of that mummified cat, but there may be another possibility of what this phantom black cat is. In Irish folklore, there's something called a cat-she, which is believed to be a type of demon who takes the form of a black cat, and it's thought to steal souls.
How'd you sleep last night?
Not great.
Yeah.
What about you?
Not great. So last night we recorded a ton of audio. A lot of it was garbled and hard to hear at the time. So I took the files off the recorder and put them on the computer. And this is going to give us a chance to hopefully hear some things that we didn't know were there.
Great, yeah, let's get into it.
This is in the saloon. We were actually at the bar. And it's really close to the question where I was asking about the cat. So tell me what you hear. I hear get help.
Get help?
Yeah.
Wait, play it again.
All right.
It's get help.
Yeah. Not only did we capture audio evidence at this time, but the EMF meter was like spiking
Going
through the
off
roof.
when
Yeah.
these were happening.
It's pretty creepy.
Well, question though, everything else we have captured, I feel like, is more threatening. Like, why would it be saying get help?
Feels like we can't handle what is there.
That worries me.
It doesn't seem like we have like much to go on.
So we do know about the Harringtons. The saloon was brought here from Anaconda, and we do know that John and Catherine owned that building. There's an archives in Butte. Maybe we can find more information about the Harrington family.
Yeah, I think we should try to dig up as much information as we can.
Hey, Tim, look at this. April 20, 1940. Okay, it says Butte woman found beaten is near death. This is a Teresa Harrington.
We know a John and Catherine Harrington. I believe that's their granddaughter.
Oh, that's really upsetting.
This is Teresa Harrington's death certificate. She died at the hospital, but the coroner ruled it a homicide. She was beaten to death. The one other strange thing on here that I just noticed is that she's married, but her husband, they were never able to find him. They didn't even have a service for her. It just says removal,
Wow.
which is pretty sad, you know?
Yeah, when people don't have a proper burial and when their deaths are, left unsolved, that creates a really unsettled energy.
I wonder if there's any living descendants of the Harringtons. We managed to track down a relative of Teresa Harrington, and she's agreed to meet with us.
Hi.
Okay?
I'm Kay.
Hi.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you.
Have we come in?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I understand that you have a connection to Teresa Harrington.
I do. She would have been my great-grandmother's niece.
Okay. So do you know anything about the circumstances about how she passed?
They always told us that her whole jaw had been broken. Her teeth were shoved down her throat. It was brutal.
Any speculation as to who or why?
I know that it was a crime of passion. I've seen her brutally being beaten in my visions. Yeah, it's really sad.
So you're sensitive.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. How did she come to you?
Just I looked up and she was there and she was showing me that she was choking.
And your ancestors are Irish, right? The Harrington?
Yes.
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 Okay. Yeah.
Full-blooded. My great-grandmother was 100% Irish.
Were your relatives superstitious?
My great-great-grandmother was a white witch.
Do you think that there's a chance that Teresa was sensitive as well?
Teresa could have been. They say it passes down through generations.
Do you think it's possible that due to Teresa's unsolved death, that her energy is up there now? Attached to the family's saloon?
Teresa and her sisters were in the orphanage in Helena. And my great-great-grandmother, she went up there and got those girls and brought them home. So safety and security probably for Teresa is in that saloon because Grandmama took them in. I've been up there.
You've been to the...
Yeah. There's darkness there at that property. It's dangerous. I was very afraid. You have to take care of yourself, period.
If Kay is right and Teresa Harrington is haunting that building, we have to see if we can contact her. We have to at least try to understand why this woman who had a really tragic death would be harassing Karen and her family.
We spoke with a living descendant of the Harringtons.
There was a murder, a very violent murder. It involved one of the Harringtons. Her name was Teresa Harrington. She was beaten pretty badly.
When they found her, she was unrecognizable. Her eyes were black, her jaw was swollen, even her teeth were punched in and found in her throat.
It makes my face hurt just thinking about it.
Kay believes Teresa spent some time in this building before she was murdered. And she also believes that she's still here. Maybe that could explain some of the activity that you guys have been experiencing.
We have a woman that we have seen throughout town, but I've never been able to see her face.
Maybe the reason why you can't see her face is because she doesn't want to show you that it's so disfigured.
If that's who it is, that would make sense why we can't see above her shoulders. and explain just some of the emotions that you pick up, the violent feeling and the sorrow and the sadness.
They never found her killer. And that restless energy can create a haunting. And quite possibly the reason why she's here is because there's something or someone here that she's drawn to. So last night we did a really interesting session in the saloon, and that really makes me want to know what happens in all the buildings. I just feel like I'm being watched. I don't know what this house is, but I just kind of felt something.
Yeah, this is the boarding house here. This is the one where we have heard the woman call out, hello.
I see the jail up there.
Mm-hmm.
Anything happen in there?
Jail is actually pretty calm. Probably one of the two very calm buildings that we have here on site.
Okay.
So this is our log cabin. I don't know where they came from. I don't know any history. If I had to pick a unit here on site that I did not want to go in, it would be the log cabin.
Why, Karen?
I don't know why. I can't go in that unit. There's a lot of pain. Oh, this is violent. This is really violent. There's somebody in that back room, and they are not happy. They are not friendly. This unit is really off limits. And I have not stayed the night in this unit. I've stayed the night in just about every other unit we've had, but I won't stay the night in there.
What do you think would happen if you did?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
So Karen got really emotional as we approached the log cabin. So I think until we know more about what's happening here on the property, we have to be extremely careful. We need to track down the original owner to figure out what the history of these buildings are.
So Sherry Jameson, who is the original owner of the ranch, she has agreed to speak with us, and we're really hoping that she can fill in some of the blanks about this property. And I personally really want to know if she herself has experienced anything there.
Hi, Sherry. My name's Tim, and
Sapphire?
we've been asked to investigate paranormal claims at the ghost town. We understand that you were the previous owner.
Yes. I have been in business my whole life and understand that if you have the same thing as everybody else, you're not very competitive. So I came up with the idea of creating a dude ranch. When I found that property, I was like, this is it.
Do you ever think about, did the ranch somehow lure you to it?
Yeah, I traveled around all over the West and didn't really find anything. So when I came upon that property, the lower ranch was very green and the red rocks were so beautiful. I knew this was the property. If it wasn't drawing me, I certainly would have or should have walked away.
How did you find the buildings?
Look for abandoned buildings and then research and see if I could get them.
How did you feel when you lived at the town?
I was not happy. Life was quite a struggle when I was there. It was just overwhelming negativity, pressure, unhappiness. I am very upbeat and it just wore me down to nothing. It took everything out of me.
What ultimately led you to sell the property?
I couldn't stay there. I was suicidal almost every day. My daily prayer was to die.
I'm really sorry that the property really changed you.
Yeah, I had to run away to save myself. And that is the only reason I'm alive. I absolutely swear to that. It took me a month or two, probably after I left, to not think about suicide again. but I've been still dealing with this. I'm not out yet, so it still has a hold on me.
I know a lot of the stuff you shared with us was really personal, and we just want to thank you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
That was so much more intense than I was expecting.
Yeah, I thought we were just going to get information about the buildings, but she wanted to kill herself.
The fact that her story is so similar to Karen's, it really just feels like this is repeating itself.
So what do you think we're dealing with here?
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell right now if the activity is more tied to the land or the buildings itself, but I feel like after talking to Sherry, I'm personally leaning more towards the buildings.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in order to help the family, we're really going to have to dig in deeper and figure out what's really going on there. We have our work cut out for us.
So we just set up all of our cameras. That way we can capture things when we are not around.
How's it look?
Looks good.
Yeah? See the families in the saloon there?
Saloon. What are you thinking?
With what happened to Karen today, we really got to get into that log cabin. I mean, the energy before was super intense.
This is the one that I'm not looking forward to. This is where Karen started crying.
I can't go in that unit.
Kind of feel dizzy.
Who's in here? Show yourself. It's like a weird, I don't know, just stand over here for a second. Just tell me what you feel.
Ooh.
You all right?
Yeah, it just feels weird.
Do you feel like you have vertigo or something there?
Yeah.
I want to go right in this spot here, right where, let's just put the recorder. This is where you were standing in. This is Tim and Sapphire. We're in the log cabin. Do you wish that Karen was here right now? What do you want from the family?
What happened in this room? Why do you torment Karen and Chloe?
Stop being a coward. Come on, show yourself.
Do you have a problem with women?
Do you want Sapphire to sleep here? She's definitely not afraid of you. Yeah.
Do you want to play it back?
Hear me. Sorry.
Wait, back that up.
Sorry.
Why would it be apologizing?
It's mocking you, I think.
You have a problem with women?
Like a scoff.
Yeah.
It sounded angry. It was loud.
Yeah. It definitely got louder when we brought up Chloe and Karen's name.
Mm-hmm.
And you look super you don't like it. What's going on?
I don't know.
You don't know?
This is really weird. I have no idea why I'm crying right now.
Sapphire? Sapphire? right?
I don't know. I just felt really sad in there. Really shook. I like genuinely don't know why I'm crying. The longer I was in that room, I just felt like I wasn't me anymore. Like my emotions just like weren't mine. It feels like something is really hurt, and I mean, maybe something was like trying to make me feel what they felt.
Can I take your camcorder for a second?
Yeah.
Are you okay out here by yourself? Or?
Yeah.
All right, I just want to go in there for a second.
Whatever was in there was not happy about us being there. I mean, like earlier when Karen was giving us the tour and she started crying in front of the cabin, I didn't feel anything then, but now it makes sense to me that she got emotional thinking about that room.
I did not capture anything.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it's like,
I think it
'cause of
likes to
me?
target women. Just try to clear your head. And
I think the longer that I'm standing outside of that place, I'm feeling a lot better, so.
when you're up for it, we'll go up to the church and we'll check it out. And if you want to stop, we can stop, but it's up to you.
No, I'm good. We came here with a purpose, and I want to make sure that we help this family.
So far, there's been a lot of negative paranormal activity going on here at the ranch, and got to get up to the church to see if that activity is affecting the family. After all, that is where they sleep. The church. All right, let's see what we got here. It's really cold in here.
This doesn't feel like a family lives here, honestly.
Let's do an EVP session right now.
Okay.
All right, Tim and Sapphire. EVP session number 1 in the church. My name's Tim. I'm here with Sapphire. Is there something in this building that wants to make a noise for us? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right.
I'm okay.
Do you want to show us that you're here? Did you hear that? It sounded like something crawling on the floor. What's wrong?
I heard something out there.
Okay, let's play this back and just see if we got anything real quick. Okay, that's freaky. I heard I'm a demon, clear as day.
Oh my God.
I think there's something super intelligent here. I'll play it one more time.
Yeah, I can hear that. Do you remember, did that happen right here?
It was in the kitchen. Sapphire, here, hold this.
Then what is it?
These are St. Benedict medallions to ward off evil spirits.
It's used in a lot of exorcisms.
What we're gonna do, we're just gonna put it on the floor
Okay.
for protection. That is so strange.
What?
My hands are freaking burning right now.
Stop, really?
No, put your hand over here and tell me if it's, is it warmer here? Right?
Yeah, what, oh God.
Okay, whoever's proclaiming itself as a demon, I left you a gift on the floor. It's from Sapphire and myself. I don't know how they have lived on this property, dealing with this night after night for 3 years. I'm really concerned for the family. And now that Sapphire and I have experienced it, I'm really worried about our safety. I don't know about you, but I'm just like, I'm spent. Like, I just feel drained. And
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
to be honest with you, I just want to get the heck out of here.
We made contact with a demonic entity. Do you think we should tell them?
At this point, I think it would be dangerous. This is way worse than I could have ever imagined.